Okay, so we've covered the little corner part now. All right, I know this is getting a little hairy here with it. You know, I don't want to like have it cutting off my head. um, Tri-pentatonic open half positional chords, major minor pair, plus cutout diatonic root mode scale. So we just covered a little bit of that second topic. And then we also have the major minor pairs up here. Okay, so these are the relatives. Now the relative minor, okay, the relative minor of G, if it's the fifth of C, is E minor. And it has a seventh. Then that, if you go on all the white keys, okay, so that's got a dominant seventh. The dominant fifth has a seventh. Here's your root. Sorry about that. And by the way, I shouldn't be playing across the camera either. My arm's cold. So that's the 1. Here's the 5. All right. And then here's its minor. So that would be 5 minor in the C box would be G major and E minor right there. So that propagates throughout the different positions that are interwoven on the bottom. Let's say they're interwoven, but they're also on the top. You can see they're in fifths here. Fifth of C is G. The fifth of G is D. These are the short positions. When we put the short positions across the fretboard and just count without any sharing, they're in fifths. The short positions. These are the short positions. The short pattern stack. The long modals pattern stack, we're not going to talk about that today, but that's in fourths. It doesn't matter that much. So there's the D box too. Okay, it's tri-pentatonic. So we have D. All right. So I'll just bar mine down here. Here's the D shape. Okay, and then I can only do, for now I'm only going to do I'm going to look at a C minor shape. But initially in the old method, it was take the C minor in caged and go up in the word caged to A minor. So it'd be, okay, that's its sixth. All right, then we go to the G shape in the D box. Now its relative minor is going to be E minor. That's an easy one. And then we go to A in the D box. And we're going to go to G minor, but we can't play that. Oh, I can play it from here, but it's still a difficult chord. So that G minor, we're going to take up the word cage, take it along the word cage, C-A-G-E. We're going to go to E minor, but up here. So it starts D, then G, E minor, and then A to A minor. That G goes to E minor up there. The fourth always goes to the fifth, so the relative of the fourth, the relative of the fifth. If you look at this in the D box, okay, what we've got is as opposed to okay, It's starting to get my wrist a little bit, and I kind of strained it the other day, so I got to take it easy on those open G positions. So I moved the position ahead in one caged. We had a little bit of that in the last chart. So let's take a look at now what's going on. So we're going to take this in the D box. Let's say we're going to take this tri-pentatonic with the minors, and look at this. Here's D, here's its relative. You always go ahead one letter in the caged word to get to the relative sixth. So D goes ahead one letter in the caged word and it spells caged again. C-A-G-E-D. Okay, the cheesy caged. Skipping the half diminished, you know why, right? We get into a big long discussion about half diminished. The A, we're going to go ahead in the caged word, so the relative sixth of the A box is the, or chord, the relative triad of the A triad. You know, say it's actually a hex scale, because when you're playing the fifth, okay, you can't play the seventh of the fifth, but you can play the fourth of the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-note scale to stay in the mode, or just follow the original root scale. Okay, so that keeps it in the key of the root. Now, let's look at the D box. So we've got D, G, A, as I played. Okay, I can do it on my guitar a lot easier without Mr. Capo. We can go B flat, E flat, F. That's just key of B flat. But now we certainly can't get those. We can't get the C minor and the G minor easily. The only thing we can get easily is the C minor, the actual C minor, E minor shaped C minor. Okay, so what are we going to do? We get half the positions, and that's what it's about, the open half position. Okay, so let's look at the new boxes that we have. I added the next shape up. Alright, so remember we played the next shape up, so let's look at D. We've got our D-shaped D right here. It's easy. Now we can use Mr. Capo to put it in tune with your guitar. Okay, so it would be D, like that, okay? That's your real deal D. You know it's up there a little bit on the octaves because D's up on the top strings, our little D. That's just D to suspended fourth to suspended second. By the way, suspended second when you're playing is really just replace the, I think it's just replace the third with the second. Suspended, I think, means just play it and then go back to normal. You don't hear this. Now that wouldn't be that's fine, but that's not suspending a chord. You know what I'm saying? That's going to another inversion of it. Let's see what that is. 5 root 4. 5 root 4. You're almost going to the fourth there.